Luke at Ocean, and I'm joined by another friend named Luke. He is an incredible leader in the Indiana region, and we're excited to have him with us today to continue our Monday, Wednesday, Friday series, where we're talking about this idea of how do we lead with excellence in this current moment that we're in. This current moment is creating all sorts of differences and new things that is required of us in our work life, in the way we think about our communities, and the way we even find our sanity and our peace. And it looks like Luke has found some peace and quiet in a vehicle where he probably could not find it in his own home. Is that about right?
That's very accurate. Yep. 4 boys and a dog. It's chaos.
I love it.
This is a nice break, man. This is great.
This is fun, man. Thanks for jumping in with us. I'm excited for you to share with the community today. Jump in. Tell us a little bit about Mud Love, kind of who you are, your role in Mud Love, and a little bit of that story there, just to kind of kick off our conversation.
Yeah, so I started Mud Love in a garage almost 11 years ago. Kind of just was an artist, trying to run a business. But then through this bracelet product, the business really took off, and we were growing like crazy. And I was building this team, learning as I go, moved into a bigger facility and just experienced this like crazy journey of entrepreneurship that I wasn't even really intending on having. But Mud Love is really founded on this idea of love and using the business to help other people. Our purpose is to put love in action, and we get to do that through a simple bracelet or a mug or something like that. We give a week's worth of clean water to every product purchased to an organization called Water for Good, which has been a great partnership for us in the last 11 years. And everything's handcrafted. So we have really amazing artisans that make all this stuff, potters that throw in the wheel. It's a really neat process. If you're ever in Northern Indiana, hit me up and we'll show you the shop and show you how it works once all this stuff blows over. But yeah, here I am.
That's a cool offer. So you started with one product line, and it's really scaled to all this other kind of stuff that you guys do.
Yeah, I kind of just started as a potter. I would make anything people wanted, custom bowls or platters or whatever. And then the bracelet was what it just broke down the barriers of like my very specific audience I had at the beginning. And it just made it so anybody could join in. There's like some neat backstory behind it. Like the stamps we use is this old stamp set I inherited from my grandmother. And it was used to make the logo. This was all kind of just happening on accident, it just kind of, and then I started realizing as things were moving, like, wow, I can see the value we could bring to the world, through this little product. And this was around the time when social enterprises weren't too popular. We were still kind of, trailing right behind Tom's shoes for a while. And everyone was just excited about a business that was more than about making money.
So do you call yourself a social entrepreneur? Is that kind of the term that would be used for someone like you?
Yeah, I would say that's the best way to describe it at this point. It's always kind of changing.
Yeah. How do you define that then?
Just an entrepreneur really that isn't, it's not just about money. It's about how to use a business as a tool to impact the world beyond providing a job. We really value providing jobs for people, but the business exchange is such a valuable thing. It's so ingrained into our lives that if we really think hard about each transaction, it can impact people's lives in a really great way. And so I would say it's just more of a thoughtful entrepreneurship approach than just saying, what's the cheapest way I can do it? What's the fastest way I can do it? That makes you really like pause and make sure you're not cutting corners or trying to work a system or something. So it just, for me, it's been just a good accountability as an entrepreneur. Like, is this really who we are? Like, love is in the name of our business. Is this how we want to operate? So it's definitely affected a lot of the decisions we make beyond clean water.
Yeah. So that idea of, okay, love being at the core of what we want to be about, like these products deliver love to people. The clean water that we provide inherently delivers like love into these people's lives. So, hey, every impact of our business, every decision down the chain is going to be impacted by that kind of ethos and by this theory of, if we're going to be about this, then let's be about it through and through, in the way we hire people, and the way we communicate to people, and the way we market, and the way we sell. and the way we offer products to folks and the supply chain and all that, right?
That's right. Yep. It really does help us filter through every decision through that lens of like, what impact is this having, good or bad?
Yeah. I didn't have this down as one of the questions I was going to ask you, but now that we're on this line of conversation, I'm curious, when has the rubber really met the road where that's been a really hard thing to stick to? Can you think of a circumstance or a situation where it's like, oh man, it would have been a lot easier to cut a corner or take a different way out?
Yeah. I mean, there's, having a team of people, it can be tough. If there has to be a layoff or, letting someone go, because you're like, well, we're also a business, like we can't just invest everything into making this a better situation. Like it is what it is, and we need to cut weight, go our own ways. So it can definitely be hard with people. It can be hard, if like the mission kind of gets stagnant and you feel like you have to inspire all the time. You're kind of like, well, we have to just be really good at what we're doing. Even from a production standpoint, like all of this matters a lot. And so at first you kind of lean on the mission to get people excited and on board and working hard, but then you just have to make it a good place to work, a good opportunity for people to grow their careers and things like that. And the mission can only takes you a long, long ways, and it always will. But at the end of the day, it's like you still have to operate like a business and make it a place where people want to be, beyond just saying we give back, So.
Yeah. Well, and there's no more strong mission statement than one that's like living and breathing and is real in the culture of your organization, right? And so, kind of a firm way to, I guess, entrench that and to further that is to say, hey, actually, this like runs its way through all that we do. And yes, we have a great mission, but we also have a great product, and we have a great culture. We have a great team, and we market really like throughout what we do. We're driving for excellence that's on brand for who we are. And so that together kind of creates this cohesive place where it's like, man, I want to be around that kind of thing. I want to be a part of what's going on over there at Mud Love. So kudos to you, Luke, for creating that. And I know, leading it over the years into incredible like different directions and new opportunities and pursuing different avenues, whether that's new product line or a new way of kind of thinking about the business or new way of thinking about even like your own leadership and what that means for like the next generation of the business. Really love and appreciate that kind of that thoughtfulness that you bring to your leadership there at Mud Love. So
thanks.
Being a small business owner, I'm just kind of curious, like how has this coronavirus, the pandemic situation that we're all experiencing, what's been the acute impact of that for you?
Honestly, I just keep going over the narrative of someone told me, okay, in a matter of a week or two, the sales in your business are going to come to a halt. Your kids are not going to be able to go to school, and you're all going to have to be in the house together trying to do this thing. Like, to me, that just sounds like, and I'll have to let 35 people go. I mean, we have 5 people working remotely, 3 of them full time. I moved my shipping office to my house so we can actually deliver something. And just that whole narrative, I mean, it just has been pretty intense. I've been doing this for 11 years, but even then, like when all this was happening, I was like, I have to be on it right now and be thinking through what we're doing. Almost things were changing by the hour. It felt like for a while there, where it was like, okay, kids aren't able to go to school. And then we might be saying that non-essential businesses can't operate. And so, I had to make it, I had like 2 days worth of people in the studio before we had to go home, and I had to decide what product are we going to make. So when I go to my house, I have something to deliver.
Wow, that's a really interesting leadership choice right there. So you're saying from the time you found out, like, okay, our business is going to have to close to honor the laws of the land, like what the governor's saying and what people are saying, like this is what needs to happen with non-essential business, right? Yeah. You had 2 working days to kind of say, okay, what kind of inventory are we going to create, craft, pull together so that we can take all that to my house? So probably like you and your wife and boys, right, are fulfilling orders in your living room or wherever you're doing it. how did you make that decision? Like, what was what first of all, what did you end up deciding to make? And then what was the reasoning and the weight behind that?
Yeah, I mean, my wife and I were just scratching our heads trying to think through, but I mean, a lot of it was just, I mean, I could say luck, but it was obviously God working in our business. I ran into Ben Higgins, who was the Bachelor on the ABC a while back, who's from our hometown. I ran into him on the Greenway when I went for a run, which I don't really run anymore, but he has a coffee business, and we just talked for a second, like, dude, this is crazy. Like, this is so hard. And this was on a Sunday. We decided to do something, and by Thursday, I had roasted bags of whole bean coffee and Hope bands ready to deliver out of my house.
Wow.
So the decision was like, all right, because the word hope, it can hit so many people's hearts, you know, especially right now. And so we're like, all right, just make Hope bands, and we'll do something with this. We'll give them away. We'll sell them, whatever we can come up with. So we came up with the Give Back Care Pack. And then Ben, who has a good following on social media, will be posting about it today. And the guy who does the roasting for him is out of Fort Wayne, and he has just like a great process that turns around in a couple days. And I have like my 10-year-old son like helping me box these things up. And then the other idea was this guy came to me and said, I want 100 In This Together bracelets. And we fulfilled his order. But then I just said, let's just make like 300 more. And we can launch an In This Together product that people could purchase that will come with like a bubble mailer. So when you get it, you could stuff that thing in the mailer and send it to someone that you know is having a hard time. And then ironically, Indiana launched in a campaign called In This Together. And I'm trying to connect with them and see if there's some sort of partnership we can do.
Wow, that's incredible. So tell us about In This Together and this kind of new creative tool and campaign that you've created to help other small business owners. Clearly, it's creating opportunity for you guys at Mud Love. I mean, man, I don't want to gloss over what you said a few minutes ago. You laid off 35 employees. That's a brutal decision as a leader and a reality that you had to face. I'm so sorry for that, and I hope that on the other side of this, that jobs are able to come back quickly. But man, I would love to just hear you tell a little bit more about this creative avenue that you've kind of come up with to help other business owners while also helping Mud Love.
Yeah. That's kind of our deal, is like, we're really good at pivoting. And so I was really proud of my team for what we've been able to pull off in a little short amount of time. But a local guy came to me and said, hey, I want those In This Together bracelets. So we made those. And he said, I'm just going to start giving these out, and I'm just going to try to encourage people. And we just built off of that. We said, all right, well, let's do more. Let's launch it on our mudlove.com website, and we'll sell them and do the bubble mailer thing, like I mentioned. And then I was thinking about our LoveWell fundraising. It's sort of like a sister company to us, where it's sort of like a GoFundMe meets Mud Love, where you're a host. Let's say you're fundraising for something. You send people to this page where you can buy these products, and half of that will go to you for your fundraiser, and the other half goes to the company to support our operations. And then people can also just donate, money. And so, kind of realizing that the In This Together had a really nice theme to sort of repackaging our LoveWell fundraising. And so instead of it being about fundraising where we just give money, it became more of a gift card generator. So we have a local coffee shop that we got set up, has an In This Together bracelet, In This Together mug, and then a tumbler with their logo on it. And anyone who orders, I will let the owner know of that business. And instead of giving them money, I'll give them money, but I'm going to give them money to then have them send that recipient a gift card. So then that brings them back to that store, which really is more valuable than just money.
Sure.
So it was like a really quick decision. I ran it by a buddy of mine who actually owns the cafe, and said, all right, here's the idea. And he gave me some good tips for kind of fine tuning it. And we just launched this small business gift card generators campaign right away.
That's
so
awesome.
we made it a little more turnkey than like the other fundraisers, because you just basically give us your logo and we plug it in, and then you just start sharing it.
Yeah, you spun this up really quickly. I'm looking in the comments here. I see a guy, Brandon Neely, said he owned a cafe in Chicago, and when the polar vortex came through, it really made them become adaptable as a business. They had to think fast so they could kind of get through the brutal winter and kind of keep cash flow and keep product moving and keep things working. And I'm hearing those same elements from you of like, we had this team that we just kind of had to turn on a dime and say, okay, let's create this product. Let's create this offering. Let's collaborate with others in our city. Let's see how we can both give back to support our employees and then other businesses as well, and really in an innovative fashion of, hey, instead of just giving, sell a product and it's a cool fundraiser and we give cash, let's put, gift cards in people's hands so they go to these institutions when the doors can reopen and things like that. Yeah. So, and I think that's great. I love what you're doing. We're going to put in the comments here all the details of how folks can jump in on this. So basically, folks can go onto your site and they can apply to become one of your LoveWell participants right now in the season, right?
Yeah, we'll have to give them a special link to sign up, which will come in an email that follows up, and they can apply there. It's a really simple process. It's free to do it. And then we have all the details of how like the payment structure works at the end. So yeah, it's really simple.
Yeah, I know also after this live broadcast ends, we have an email teed up that we're sending to our Ocean database, at least anyone in our database that's identified as kind of a small business owner. You're going to get this email with some of the details and the parameters of kind of the LoveWell program and how you can connect with Luke and his team in order to kind of potentially figure this out for your business as well. So keep an eye out for that. If you don't get it, comment here, or if you have more questions, reach out to us here or go to lovewellfundraising.com and you'll be able to kind of get connected there as well. So Luke, I thank you for jumping on. Before we leave, I will ask one other question here from Bob in the comments in the chat. Have you, like so many folks who are leading small businesses or nonprofits, we've become experts overnight in the payroll protection program and the CARES Act that the government is offering. Is them that you guys have been learning about and are looking to apply for some of those funds to be able to kind of sustain some of your employment opportunities?
Yeah, definitely. We'll be applying with our bank today. Definitely worried about how many people are trying to fit through the funnel at once. But I mean, the hit's been so hard that we don't have options. Normally that wouldn't be something I would look to do, but because the situation was so drastic and so fast that it put us in a really tough spot. So I'm thankful that we have that opportunity. I feel bad for the bankers right now, but I appreciate the work they're doing to help small businesses, because it'll be huge if it goes through the way it's supposed to.
Absolutely. It'll be massive help to so many folks like you in the position that you're in and we're in as organizational leaders. So I hope the process goes smooth as well for so many that are in the process and in the queue for that. On that note, this is our last kind of one of these live broadcasts this week. We're doing these every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to jump in next week, and one of our conversations we're going to have a guy named David Scott, who's a local lawyer, and he's going to apply. Thank you for jumping on and joining us. Best of luck, and we hope some folks connect here with the LoveWell fundraiser. I love what you've created. I can't wait to kind of see more folks jump on board with it.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate the time.
All right.